Are you a dungeon master whose players binge on all the OP character build videos on YouTube? Ranking videos that tell them which feats will power their PCs up the most? How about building a PC with 300 hit points at level 1? The top 5 most broken spells that they should be using? If so, perhaps it's time to fight fire with fire. With the help of our sponsor, Marvel's Strike Force, a fast-paced superhero mobile game now available on Android and iOS, we are going to build an absurd dungeon that will help you, my dear frustrated dungeon master, keep pace with all of the ridiculosity your players bring to the table. As follows are 5 completely broken and yet often overlooked elements that you are probably forgetting to use in your D&D adventures. Oh, and make sure you stick around to the very end because I'll be revealing my super secret method for OP dungeon crafting. All of these ploys that we YouTubers use to make you click on our videos, it is just fabulous. Number 1, the Splash Trap. This deviously beautiful trap selectively targets characters that have certain optimal levels of certain classes splashed into them. For instance, any PC with 2 or 3 levels of Warlock splashed in, or a wizard with 1 level of Cleric splashed in so they get to wear heavy armor. What this trap seeks out is characters built using metagame knowledge of low-hanging power fruit for certain classes, such as the Paladin with 2 levels of Warlock and 2 levels of Sorcerer. Now, this trap can be placed anywhere, really, but my suggestion is to have it on a door in the dungeon that the group must pass through to complete their objective. This is one instance where a linear map design, which is otherwise heavily frowned upon, is going to be your friend. Make it so that the characters have no choice but to go through that darn door. And if it feels just a little bit like you're stealing player agency, good. That means you're doing the Splash Trap right. This 100% undetectable, undisarmable trap activates an invisible magical field that when a character passes through it, strips said character of all classes that have 3 or fewer levels in them, completely removing all class traits and features from classes thus stripped. 2 levels of Warlock, gone. 1 level of Cleric, gone. And that 2 Paladin, 2 Sorcerer, 2 Warlock, looks like we're back to level 0 commoner territory, baby. Wow, that fight was brutal! Indeed, might I suggest that we avail ourselves of the multitude of OP character build videos on YouTube?
It looks like the barbarian is already doing just that!
What? No, I would never binge on all the wonderful OP character build videos on YouTube that would make our illustrious Dungeon Master's life even more difficult. Then what exactly were you doing on your phone? Playing Marvel's Strike Force, of course. You see, it's this really cool mobile game where I control a squad of my favorite superheroes as they take on the duplicitous villains. Right now I have Deadpool, the Punisher, Spider-Man, Luke Cage, and Hawkeye on my squad. And we're fighting against the Hand as they try to power an interdimensional portal. Oh wow, that sounds really cool.
Oh heck yeah! It's free to play too!
Yeah, I haven't spent a single gold piece on it yet, and I'm having tons of fun. One of the things I love most about it is how I gain experience points as I play, which allows me to level up the superheroes on my roster.
But what about the loot? Where's the loot?
Oh yeah, every time you defeat more bad guys, you get cool loot drops that you can equip on your superheroes, making them even more powerful. You know, I really think that instead of leveling up and making your Marvel's Strike Force heroes more powerful, you should really be thinking more about your D&D character. Well, you know, the good news is that even if our D&D characters die, we can always play Marvel's Strike Force.
Heck yeah, baby!
Yeah, it's also really good to play during a D&D game when the Dungeon Master goes on an endless monologue. The combats only last a few minutes, so you can sneak in quick little fights here and there when the Dungeon Master isn't looking. Whoopsies.
Holy crap! We're screwed!
Number 2, the Phalanx. This perfectly petty tactic utilizes the feats Polearm Master and Sentinel, only leveraging it for your bad guys. I'll wager that any Dungeon Master who's DM'd for at least a few minutes has seen a PC using this build. And now it's time to turn this exploit against not just one PC, but the entire party. Punish everyone for one player's mania, I say. Now, this is quite simple. Take an entire squad of monsters, we'll use gnolls for this example, give them halberds and the Polearm Master and Sentinel feats. Then have them form a straight line that stretches across an entire area of a dungeon. As soon as a character comes within 10 feet, up to 3 gnolls can use their reactions to attack the character, and if the attack hits, the character's speed becomes 0. This stops them just out of range of being able to attack the gnolls, and they are screwed. Then you just rinse and repeat this for every PC who dares approach the gnoll phalanx's line. On their turn, the gnolls attack with their halberds and then fall back at least 5 feet, so that PCs are now 15 feet away, and if on their turns they want to approach the gnolls in melee, they'll have to enter their polearm reach again, provoking reaction attacks that can once again reduce their speed to 0. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about ranged PCs and spellcasters? Well, that's why your gnoll phalanx is supported by gnoll crossbowmen with the following feats: crossbow expert, sharpshooter, shooter, and mage slayer. Their job is to rain fury and destruction down upon ranged PCs and PC spellcasters. Thanks to their feats, each gnoll can shoot at least twice per round, can do an extra 10 damage per shot, and imposes disadvantage on any spellcaster who needs to make a constitution saving throw or lose a spell they are concentrating on. But Luke, you say, isn't it a little bit redonkulous and even absurd to have monsters just conveniently take these combinations of feats and use these tactics? And we can't use them in every adventure either, can we? And to that I say, it's no more ridiculous and absurd for characters to do the same. I mean, don't characters use the same feats and tactics in every dungeon they venture into? Why can't dungeon masters do the same? Well, Luke, you say, because it gets old and boring for the players if the DM does that. And to that I say, don't you think it gets old and boring for the DM when the players do it? We have broken the game. We're at an impasse. It's all over. Number 3, the Cliffs of Doom. In this ultimate dungeon of devastation, there is a massive room stretching over 100 feet in every direction, bathed in magical darkness, and inhabited by a cabal of warlocks who have the Devil's Sight and Repelling Blast eldritch invocations. When the characters enter the room, the warlocks begin shooting the crap out of them with eldritch blast from 100 feet away, constantly knocking them back so that they can't close the distance to attack the warlocks. And for extra fun, let's have an iron door slam shut behind the characters so they can't retreat from this supreme shooting gallery of scintillating sleaziness. Oh, and let's have one side of the room drop away into Cliffs of Doom. If characters are repelling blasted off these cliffs, they fall over 500 feet into lava. How about lava? Yeah, lava sounds great. Oh, and did I forget to mention, there is no saving throw for repelling blast, so there is nothing the characters can do about it. I mean, I feel like this is a perfectly delicious TPK. I mean, could you make it any better? Number 4, the dice manipulators. Now, this sleazy trick right here will really show OP characters who's boss. All the monsters in your devious Dungeon of Destruction splash 2 levels of wizard specializing in divination to get portent. And we might as well just make them halflings with the lucky feat while we're at it. I mean, at this point, why hold back? With portent, every single one of your bad guys gets to roll 2 d20s ahead of time and use the results in place of either their rolls or the character's rolls. And that is a lot of dice changing shenanigans we're talking about right there. Oh, and remember, since they're halflings, if they roll a 1, they get to re-roll. And with the lucky feat, they get to replace any d20 roll of theirs or a character with a new roll. It's just beautiful. Like, you might as well just not have your players roll dice and the dungeon master just rolls all their dice for them. Also, if you want to take the strategy to all new heights of powerful, just roll all your dice behind your screen. It's amazing what you can do when the players can't see your dice. Number 5, the perfect puzzle. The final element of a deliciously deadly dungeon adventure is a puzzle that your players simply can't solve. Now, I'm not talking about making a difficult puzzle. I'm talking about a puzzle that literally has no solution. It cannot be solved. And of course, it blocks the way forward or otherwise makes the adventure unwinnable. The goal here is to simply frustrate your players. Remember how I said we're fighting fire with fire? If your players can frustrate their dungeon masters with a multitude of OP builds and special tricks intended to exploit the rules while still following the letter of the law, the dungeon master can surely do the same. I mean, Isn't it one of the first rules of D&D that the Dungeon Master can change the rules as they see fit? My super secret method for OP dungeon crafting. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You've come to the actual point of this video. All of this is ridiculous. The never-ending arms war that players and Dungeon Masters wage is rather silly. It's just ludicrously stupid. However, it's not going to stop anytime soon. D&D YouTubers will continue to create these videos because, well, they get really good views, and we all know that views are king on this platform, whether you like it or not. If you're not getting views, you're not relevant. You don't exist, and your channel just well, nobody watches it. And players will continue to create powerful characters because, well, it's really fun. This character arm race is just a part of the game. So, this is my message to all the awesome Dungeon Masters out there that may get frustrated by this sort of thing. Embrace it. As more powerful character options are released, which is inevitable, just level up the challenge of your adventures. As PCs get power creep, do the same with your monsters and traps and puzzles. This allows you to use really cool higher level monsters that perhaps you couldn't before. Or that nasty trap you included as an Easter egg in that last block of code you wrote, commented out, of course. It was commented out, wasn't it? Anyway, this is the nature of the game. Don't let it get to you too much, says the guy who just made an entire video arguably complaining about it. If you'd like to support the content I create, you can become a DM Lair patron at the link below. Get an issue of Lair magazine every month, which has tons of Dungeon Master resources in it, and play D&D with me. Or you can binge on some more videos like these two right here.